Carter disrespected. Hamas ignored. A dialogue denounced. Next on Global Pulse. A comparison of how broadcasters worldwide are covering this story. Former President Jimmy Carter's controversial meeting with Hamas was described like this by ABC News and Fox News.
President Jimmy Carter on a one-man peace mission in Cairo today met with Hamas leaders from the Gaza Strip, making him the first high-profile American to meet with the Palestinian militant group the U.S. officially labels a terrorist organization. Israeli officials have snubbed the former president's mission, discrediting his efforts to bring peace with Hamas.
Former President Jimmy Carter said the militant Palestinian group Hamas would accept Israel as a neighbor if Israel gives up land it seized in the 1967 war. But the group later said it would never recognize Israel outright.
What they didn't show was him explaining why he did it.
The president's strategy of excluding Hamas and excluding Syria is just not working. It only exacerbates a cycle of violence, of misunderstanding and of animosity. It's not that I met with Hamas and Syria. The problem is that Israel and the United States refuse to meet with these people who must be involved.
Hamas's response was covered by Iran's Press TV and the BBC.
In Damascus, the exiled leader of Hamas said it didn't mean he'd explicitly recognize Israel, but he did offer other concessions if Israel gave up the land it captured over 40 years ago.
We have offered a 10-year truce after Israel withdraws to the borders of June 1967 as an alternative to the recognition. This is the clear vision of Hamas.
Well, Mashal said any peace deal must be put to a national Palestinian referendum or otherwise be approved by a new legislative body.
Al Jazeera English compared Carter with President Bush.
Where President George Bush seems to be struggling, Jimmy Carter once succeeded.
Thank you very much.
That diplomatic triumph inspires measured support for Carter's talks with Hamas among many Americans.
The military option in Israel has proven time and time again not to be effective.
I think that President Carter is definitely a very notable character who really has tried hard for the peace process to try to push it forward.
That is not how the U.S. administration feels. Officials, as well as leading newspapers, have sharply criticized Carter's trip.
Iran's Al-Alam highlighted Hamas's pivotal role, while France's TV 5 highlighted Carter's audacity.
The objective of Jimmy Carter's trip is to make a relationship and make a provocation. Washington doesn't understand what he is doing.
We think it's strange that just one man wants to encourage dialogue between the Israeli government and Hamas.
Hamas member of the Palestinian parliament, Mushir al-Masri, said that U.S. ex-President Jimmy Carter's assertion that Hamas must be included in peace talks confirms the failure of all attempts to eradicate Hamas and the resistance. He asserted that Hamas has a role in any regional agreement.
This shows that Hamas is a major player in the region, and the region can't attain stability without Hamas's approval.
Will Carter's efforts make a difference? Probably not in terms of Mideast peace, but maybe so in terms of the U.S. elections.
Most of Carter's family supports Obama, and Carter's hinted that he's likely to as well.
Senator Obama and Senator Clinton should directly repudiate and tell President Carter he should not meet with what is fundamentally a terrorist.
This morning in Pennsylvania, Obama did in remarks to a group of Jewish leaders.
I have a fundamental difference with President Carter and disagreed with his decision to meet with Hamas.
For Global Pulse, this is Erin Coker.
This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only US network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs. Programs which connect you to the world.